when you said, you hope Trump will win. Now, why is it that you hope he'll win? I'm interested, because it's not necessarily that I don't know, you're not like a MAGA guy, right? So what is it? Why do you hope he'll win?
It's really two sides of the same coin here. I think, number one, the longer that the Democrats are kept out of power at the national level, the better, because then the longer, I guess this is the other side of the coin, the longer it can be clarified what their neoliberal globalist agenda is all about. And I hope people will awaken to that global reality and begin to ask themselves whether there's an alternative to it. Yeah. And I frankly don't see that, even if Trump is elected, which I think he will. I think the Democrats, in a way, have said that he'll be reelected by putting Biden out there. I don't actually think Biden will be the candidate. I think it'll be Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton. I was thinking
because
Cuomo. Yeah.
You think Cuomo? Yeah. Well, he's making a push. Obviously, these people are just campaigning very heavily with their coronavirus activity. But I think the Democrats have conceded, in part because they don't want to take responsibility for anything.
Yeah.
But also because, again, just to go back to that metaphor of the machinery, most of the machinery is still working the way it has worked, even with Trump, even with the clarification. And this is a limit of the clarification. We can all be talking like we are now. We can be posting things on social media, on and on, but the machinery doesn't care, and it just keeps going. I mean, it cares a little bit. It cares a little bit. It doesn't like to be talked about as what it really is. Bill Gates does not like to be talked about as what he really is. Dr. Fauci, etc. But still, the machinery doesn't stop for that. And
it's not threatened. It's not threatened by him.
And it can wait things out. It's a little bit like a war of occupation, where the guerrillas can, as Mao said, if the enemy attacks, we retreat, because we live to fight another day, and eventually we will come back. And unfortunately, they're able to do that. They have a lot of strength, and they have a lot of ability to wait a long time, and they have the machinery. And we don't have yet the way. The people do not yet have the way to, as Marx put it, assume the commanding heights.
Yeah.
And furthermore, and this is another break with the left, and this goes to the protesters in Michigan as well.
Yeah.
The left now loves the state.
Exactly. And the CIA and the FBI.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the protesters, one reason they're not fascists, even though, they look a little bit like fascists. I mean, when they're carrying assault rifles and stuff like that, it's not a pretty sight to me. I've never been a gun liker, much less a gun lover. But one reason they're not fascists is they hate the state.
That's right.
They're very skeptical of the state. And on the whole, frankly, I will take that any day. You can call it right wing, you can call it conservative. If people will call it fascist, I'll take that any day over a left that now is in bed with the CIA.